There you go. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our team mastermind for today, Monday, November 6th. November 6th. It's actually our second mastermind after the Miami Beach event, but it almost feels like the first because I felt like I was still in the middle of it. The buzz was still happening from that amazing event we just came from, and so we had a discussion earlier in the week, and we were thinking, how can we take our Monday team masterminds to a whole new level? And we decided that we were going to bring this house of brands concept and the individual brands that were coming, and we were going to bring them to you, almost like when you heard Josh's kind of address earlier, he was talking about these events that are coming up and how you can come and learn about the products. Well, we're thinking to ourselves, well, we don't have to get on a plane or train an automobile to go do that. We can bring them to you, right? It's kind of a no-brainer. So we got a special guest tonight. You guys all saw it in the texting service. So before we get into that, I just want to take a moment and recognize the top 10 enrollers for the month of October. The top 10. And for those of you who are new to the team, these top 10 are the people who have enrolled the most business volume from their new customers and affiliates that they've personally enrolled. Okay. The first one is now we have 7 of the 10 are from Nigeria, which is amazing. And Lolu at 2:05 in the morning is here to kind of share with us. And first and foremost, I just want to just acknowledge the fact that Lolu came and hung out with our team here in America. Was absolutely amazing. So Lolu, I'm glad you're back in Nigeria. But I got to tell you, it was an absolute pleasure to have you to grace your presence with us, and everybody loved meeting you and kind of learning from you as well. But anyhow, number 10, Michael Dan, Lolu came in at number 10. In at number 9, Mustafa Shuabiba. I think I got that right. In at number 9, Noor Musa. In at number 8, Dr. Tracy Norman from Jamaica, man. In at number 7, who's excited about Jamaica, by the way? I just got to call timeout.
I am.
Talk about, yeah. All right, Sean and Tyler, excellent. Jamaica. I've never been to Jamaica, and it's just my kind of vibe. So I'm thinking this is perfect. And Dr. Tracy Norman, who lives in Jamaica, came in at number 7, and that's gonna be amazing. In at number 6, Janet Adi. In at number 5, Halima Abdul Mumin. In at number 4, Jason Bombard, which is totally awesome. Adam Abraham is in at number 3. There must be a family member here, Lolu. Abu Bakar Ibrahim is in at number 2.
Abu Bakar.
Yeah, help me out here, brother. Help me out with this, man. I mean, I can't. I mean, I don't want to botch it. So how do you pronounce his name?
Abu Bakar.
Abu Bakar.
Great. Yeah.
Abu Bakar. In at number 2. He's sleeping right now, but let him know he's in number 2. And number one for the team, the top enroller for the team was none other than Ginger Tyler.
Great.
Ginger Tyler in at number 1. Where's Ginger? I saw her on here earlier. Where's Ginger at?
I'm hiding in the corner.
There you are, girl. Congratulations. First of all, let me just say this. You are just a beam of light, Ginger. I mean, honestly, you are a beam of light. So many people are, but you just come onto the scene here with all kinds of enthusiasm onto our team, My Daily Choice. It was fabulous to see you guys in Miami Beach, and you're doing things on social. I mean, you got a lot of things going on. I just want to, first of all, congratulations. And second of all, do you mind just kind of sharing with everybody, what you're doing, what you're most excited about coming out of Miami Beach? I mean, just share your thoughts with everybody.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm trying really hard to, as they said at convention, hey, Crazy Red just walked in, so she's going to sneak in on this. Trying to say more things to less people, really what they talked about at convention. I came from the science world of selling products. I love to geek out, put on the lab coat, and it was really, really hard for me to pry that lab coat off. And so I really just tried to get it to, I tried to have my mindset when I owned a bar, you know, I don't know anything about, I don't drink, but I own a bar. I just got good at getting people to come to the bar. I was never good at talking about what drinks we had or how many IPAs we had. I could never answer those questions, and I never cared to answer those questions. So I had to get that mindset and go, okay, where have I excelled? And how did I excel there? And how can I implement it here at my daily choice? Because we're all good at something, right? And so why were you good there, and how can you turn that into what we do here? And so I started thinking of, like, if I own a mall, like here in town, it's called the Valley Mall. You go to the Valley Mall, you've got Kohl's, Foot Locker, right? Sears, you have all these different stores. If I own the Valley Mall, I wouldn't be worried about what's at Foot Locker, what's at Kohl's, what is in all those stores. I would be like, hey, Kenny, I now own the Valley Mall. When you go Christmas shopping, do me a favor and come look and see what I have at my mall. Right. And so I've really just tried to quit overthinking and just dumbing things down and making it simple. And then being, you know, more bold, which is part of like why Crazy Red is here. Ran into her at BNI like the week before convention. And it was just like, the conversation isn't always as easy, but her and I had a little bit of business talk here and there. And it was basically like, dude, like, come on, you just need to come to convention. And I just said, what's your worst case scenario? And so she came, right? You know, she ended up giving me $7.99 pack and more, thanks to the marketplace. Thanks for all the BV last month, by the way. I kept getting, Teresa McBride has got to reorder as we're sitting there at convention over and over. And I'm like, geez, woman, she's going to need to take out a loan to pay her power bill when we get back. But really just trying to just go back to simple. And something that I really screwed myself up back in my prior was making myself not duplicatable. You know, loving the science and loving to know all the information, as great as it is, it's not very duplicatable. I'd love to do reels and funny social, you know, things on social media, but a lot of people don't. So I had to make sure that people that join my team know you don't have to do what I do on social media. You know, you just got to know how to use the tools that are right here on your phone. You don't have to be Ginger. You don't have to be Jordan Monroe. You don't have to be Kenny Rossi, right? And finding a way. So I guess I'm just trying to make it simple.
Nice. Well, I appreciate that. Well, simplicity does work, and it is duplicatable in everything you do. And I think it's great that you've made that shift, because it's a whole different landscape here with My Daily Choice with the marketplace. It's a whole different game, right? So congratulations, Ginger. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
And one last little thing that is great to reach out to people is I'm going to people that have a W-2, and I'm like, I'm going to say, do me a favor. I want you to go grab your last paycheck and then text me and tell me what it says for the federal amount. Do you want me to help you wipe that part out of your check?
Yes.
And watch this 12-minute video.
Yes.
You know, because
if everybody knew that, Ginger, that's a strong point.
Yeah, because they can pull that pay stub and see, and it's that federal amount. It's about, you know, I mean, give or take a little bit. That's kind of about what people can take off of there. And now toward the end of the year, it's bigger because it's got the year to date on it. So I'm like, dude, I want you to text me what the year to date says under federal. And
that's great. I hope everybody's listening to that and understanding that. That's a really, really great prospecting approach, because look, the reality is, if you're in pursuit with a 1099 income and you're in the pursuit of profits, there are so many things you can write off. And at the end of the year, I mean, think about it. Like, you started that business in 2023. How many of y'all have a cell phone or know people that have a cell phone and they're paying 100, $150 a month? Or in my case, I'm paying $700 a month, but I got like 6 people in my account. But anyhow, that's a whole other story. But yeah, your travel, all these dynamics. So very good point, Ginger. Thanks for sharing that.
And what I told somebody, because I went back and I did some of my math, I asked my accountant real quick. And for those of us now, you know, like that have kids that are over 18 that I'm friends with, I'm like, you remember when we got to claim our kids? I went back, and now that I'm self-employed with this, it's like having 2 kids on my tax return, because that's about the equivalent on my own taxes, is being able to have 2 kids on. And most of us can remember, you know, clicking that 2 kid and seeing when we're doing our own taxes, how it goes, oh, there's $2,500, you know, added for those kids. So a great tax conversation.
Yeah, it almost makes me want to have more kids. I think about it. But anyhow, so okay, let's change gears, because I could geek out with you on the tax savings piece, the entrepreneurial piece. We're going to transition to our guests tonight, and I'm going to pass this on to Dana, who is going to introduce them and have a fantastic discussion. So have your notepads ready, everybody.
All right. Congrats, Ginger. That was amazing. Loved hearing about it.
Before you start, look
Okay.
what Teresa brought me. She brought me an ugly sweater that says, "Oh snap."
It's awesome. You need one now that says BLD on the other side.
There you go.
BLD. Oh, snap. BLD. Yes. I love that. That is hilarious. Oh man, that's so funny. Okay, so you guys are in for a treat. I'm so happy you showed up tonight because first of all, we all know all disease begins in the gut. Hippocrates said 3,000 years ago, all disease begins in the gut. I've been an integrative doctor for 20 years and I've trained on gut health for ages. And what I love about Sean and Ty is that they were training on gut health, way before it was necessary the way it is today. Today, with the way that, foods have gotten worse and worse and worse, and processed foods in our country have gotten worse and worse and worse, and more GMOs and more glyphosate sprayed on the wheat, and just all these things that are attacking our microbiome. We need some extra tender love and care on that, and on that center, right? Our core. And so I am so excited for you guys to hear Sean and Ty. They're wonderful, incredible humans. They've been training people on how to turn their health around, get their body into healing mode for over 20 years, and probably longer than that. You guys can tell us, but I'm just going to ask you, first of all, just introduce yourselves. Tell us your background. Tell us, why and how you came about to be these incredible nutritional supplement formulators the way you are now.
Okay. Well, first off, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
We're very grateful. This never gets old, whatever it's been, 23, 24 years together doing this.
Counting?
Not me, but, and we've tried to not do this before, right? We've tried to okay, I think maybe that's
Let's
enough.
retire.
And we can't, we can't, because the need gets stronger, right? There's just more and more people that it's amazing to us, because when we first started, with words like enzymes and even probiotics or whatever,
Right.
people are like, what are you talking about? And, now we kind of see it, but people still don't know. And they're very confused, I'm sure, as you know, with probiotics and enzymes, right. And they're different. Right. And so we're excited to be at My Daily Choice, to do what we do, to help all of you reach so many more people. That's really what it's always been about for us. We got started, at a long time ago, we got started, but I had, can I say whatever I want to say on here? I had arthritis in my hands. So I had arthritis in my early 30s. I was a head high school football coach at the time out in, we live in San Diego now, but we were in Arizona. And I meet this amazing lady here, and I had lost my mom to colon cancer. I was already juicing, researching. I started that back in 1993. And she starts teaching me things I'd never heard of. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And, I was going to specialists in Scottsdale and Phoenix, and I was getting nowhere. They either wanted to put me on a drug. One doc said I needed surgery. I'm like, what? I'm not doing that. And so here I go see this little gal here. And
I was way younger.
no. And so it took 4 or 5 days. And I still remember this day, just driving and all of a sudden feeling no pain in my hands in my car. And I'm like, what the heck? It was 4 or 5 days later. I call her up and I don't know who you are. I don't really care about that. You're not a doctor. You train doctors, whatever.
Well, at that time I was doing something called live cell analysis. I was doing microscopy. So I was able to actually see his blood right there and be able to show him. And most people, they've never had a window into themselves. And it's just a really fun, amazing tool. I do not do it anymore. I do not have any time in my life to do that stuff. But it's a time to show people where they actually almost feel sorry for their cells, their red blood cells. And it's kind of that wake up aha moment that, oh, wow, everything I eat actually turns into something in my body. And if I'm not processing that, then what happens? And so it was an education moment for me to teach him. And then that's what I've always been passionate about, is just really teaching people the power of understanding that it's not just outside, you know, it's internal. And what does that mean? And then how does that lead to disease? And
I remember
so
asking her,
cool
I'm like,
things.
okay, I just have one question. I have no pain in my hands. Is the pain going to come back? Yes or no?
And I said, yes, if you don't listen to me, because
No, you said yes
I'm
if you don't
East
come
Coast.
see me again.
One of those.
Yeah. We do this little East Coast, West Coast.
I'm originally from Massachusetts, so I'm a little bit more direct.
Maybe. Just, we'll call it that. We'll
Yes.
call it direct. But I went and saw her again, and I said, look, I didn't, you know, she's obviously a very beautiful lady, and I didn't want to tell her all my issues on the first time I
Yeah,
we
so
got
the next
together.
time you came with a scroll.
No. A
With
scroll.
all his issues.
But I had mentioned to her, I said, look, I have not had, besides my hands feeling great, I had no acid reflux during that first week. I had no indigestion during that first week. And I could act, this was without changing any food. And I could start seeing that I had abs again. I had this, I'm like, wow, I haven't seen that in a long time. So that's where it all started. And a few years later, we started a business really with no business model or strategy, but really just to help people and educate however we could. And that kind of turned into its own thing. And, you know, we was helping doctors, and I started helping athletes. And then we ended up with the NBA and the NFL and NHL teams and all these Olympic, like all this stuff. I was like, wow, I love sports. I thought this is kind of neat. She's like, whatever, sports. And so that just kept going. And then we
all word of mouth
retail. We did that whole game, right? And, you know, your Whole Foods and your Sprouts, and we were all over the world, health food stores. But the problem was, A, it wasn't our intention, and B, bottles don't talk.
And we've been saying that for years. Retail, all of that's wonderful, but it's a bottle on a shelf, and you have no idea how much to take, when to take it, what it even is, what's the difference between this one and that one. And
100%.
So that's why I've always liked working with people so they could explain it to others. And I was always passionate about working with doctors, because then they can tell hundreds of people. So, I mean, it's such a cool thing to learn, and it's so simple.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the biggest thing for me, the realization of how simple all this stuff really is. And, you know, enzymes go back to the 1930s, all that research, and it's just simple. You know, we're not drug deficient, we're nutrient deficient. And it's really just to help people take their health more into their own hands. It's kind of been our thing. But that's, you know, we love this industry from the perspective of meeting all of you tonight and just getting to share with you. And
I actually recognize a lot of you. So I was pretty excited. I'm like, wait, I know that one. I'm like, oh my gosh, I loved her. This one was great. So it's kind of fun that I got to meet a lot of you.
But we're here to serve. I mean, we feel called to do what we do, and we're here for all of you and anyone that you want to share with and help. And no one needs to be an expert.
No.
You know,
that's the worst thing.
That's the worst thing.
What is it? Paralysis by analysis.
You know, the whole thing of overthinking and trying to know too much, and, you know, just throwing all this information onto people. They're like, what the heck are you even talking about? So we just keep it really, really simple.
It's why we do the pudding demo.
Yeah, the pudding demo, the BLD, the breakfast, lunch, dinner has been kind of our flagship thing that we've worked with forever. There you go.
Yes, we made it super simple for people to remember. When do I take it? I'm like, it's on the bottle. B for breakfast, L for lunch, D for dinner, or maybe an extra D for dessert.
D. Yeah, why not? But it's very, very simple. So
tell us, first of all, you just like had all 57 of us fall madly in love with you too. So we just love your energy. We love your genuineness, right? Your genuineness and your actual knowledge, which I love. Growing up, my father was a medical doctor that turned integrative, and I literally, as you were talking about enzymes, I heard in my ear him going, they just need more enzymes, enzymes. And so it's so true. And yours is a really unique formula. So when I first saw the ingredients, I was like really impressed. Like, is this for real? Like, these people really know what they're doing. So please tell us about your product line first, but definitely about the BLD, which has given me a really flat tummy, by the way. So thank you guys for that. Because every woman wants a flat tummy. So tell us about we want to know all about your product lines in the marketplace, some teasers for what's to come, and then also how it works and why every single one of us needs to be on it every day.
Perfect. Well, I mean, it's pretty simple for us. You know, for 20 some years, we've been teaching plant-based, whole food, that whole deal, trying to steer away from synthetics, etc. And, you know, we have like an enzyme delivery system in the capsule products that you see us, you know, that we bring out there.
Stabilized probiotics.
And, you know, just the simple stuff. And we just try to be as clean as we can be. You know, we don't sit there and argue with people. We don't, you know, we're the best. We know who we are. We are kind of the OG of gut health. We get that. I mean, we have sold millions of bottles of what you're holding in your hand. We have seen 10, 15,000 testimonial type.
Anything you can imagine.
And everything you can imagine. It's been unbelievable. So we have been able to help people change their lives in so many different ways. And so
get ready for that, because as you start introducing it to your friends and family members, it's not about having a bad gut. I want you to really, really, really know that. You can give this to a newborn baby all the way to somebody who's 100 and something years old. It's about longevity as well. And there's some tremendous research from the 1930s that basically just got pushed under the rug, because when you learn about enzymes are completely life-changing. Like when your dad said that, it's so true. My family used to make fun of me, like, oh, I broke my arm. Do you think an enzyme will fix it? Like, because every single time anything was wrong with them, I'm like, oh, you just need more enzymes. If anybody sneezes around me, I'm like, you need enzymes. You're allergic to something. You need enzymes. So it's kind of been a running joke in my family about enzymes. But as Thanksgiving's coming up, we have literally like usually a jar, like my water thing, filled. I usually pour the bottle in, and it's in the center of the table, multiple containers of it, so everyone can have some with everything that they're eating, all the way to appetizers, dessert. And in that specific formula, there is an enzyme for each thing that you could potentially eat, because enzymes are substrate specific, meaning you need specific enzymes to break down proteins. You need specific enzymes to break down fats. And the goal is that each thing that you're eating, like a Thanksgiving meal where you're going to have this massive variety, that you want to make sure what you're taking, which is that enzyme at the beginning of the meal, is going to unlock all the nutrients of everything that you're eating. Whether it's, you know, a carb, whatever it is, that you're going to have that enzyme present to make sure that you're going to process that, even if it's alcohols, because you're going to have alcohol sugars. There's also sugar enzymes in there. So there's all kinds of
fats.
Yeah, literally anything you can think of, we have the enzyme in there to make sure you're processing it.
So it's enzymes and a little bit of stabilized probiotics, but BLD is really mostly an enzyme product. And I think I like to try to talk to people as how I remembered in the very beginning, when I'm like, well, why didn't my parents take enzymes, or my grandparents? Well, obviously the food was different. We could start with that. And so everything is really, really simple if you keep it that way. And the bottom line is, when we eat, we should get energy. Like you're talking about Thanksgiving. Most people eat a Thanksgiving meal and they're just like,
take a nap.
I'm going to nap out and watch some football or whatever they do. But we always say, look, take a handful of enzymes with that Thanksgiving meal and go play football if you want, because you're getting energy. You're
Which
unlocking
is what you're supposed to do.
you're supposed to get those.
When you eat, you're supposed to get energy.
Get that nutrient into the body. Let your body decide what nutrients it wants in that moment, right? That's step one. Unlock, absorb, whatever you want to call it. And then step two, let's process out of the body what our body doesn't want. You know? We do a lot of poop talk around here. So,
but it doesn't make you run to the bathroom, even
no.
though anybody who came by and saw me doing the pudding demo, which is, if you didn't get to see that, it's just buy any cheap pudding anywhere, like go to Walmart and buy a case of it. So you always have it on hand. And you just take one capsule, open it up, put the contents, which is the stabilized probiotics and the enzymes. You're going to put that into the pudding, stir it up, and it liquefies it. But I don't want you to think like, oh, well, I could have just put it in a blender with water and done the same thing. It's not like that. This is more mama bird, baby bird type of thing, where it's being pre-digested and broken down. And the mama bird does that to the baby bird, so it immediately gets all the nutrients and the baby bird doesn't have to worry about processing it. So it's kind of just an analogy for you to hang on to. So when you're looking at the pudding that gets liquefied, be thinking of the fact that it's changing the structure. So the proteins that were in that pudding are now amino acids. And what do amino acids do? They're going to feed your muscles, feed your brain. So all these people that are working out and bodybuilding and doing whatever, and they're drinking a gallon of egg whites or something, none of that's going to matter unless they're actually processing it down to an amino acid that the body can actually recognize and utilize. And it's the same thing with your fats. Your fats have to break down to a fatty acid so the body can utilize, that. And each enzyme is specific to that. So you can feed your cells. I
keep it simple.
I want to keep it simple, but I also want you to understand there's no way you don't want to take this. Like everyone on the planet, if I could just grab them and just shake them, and your family members will be the most difficult ones you have to explain it to, because that's just how life is. But they're the ones you're going to really, really want to, I want to kind of say, save their life, because it's that life-changing.
And this, obviously, we won't talk about the other products as much as this one.
No, we're passionate about this.
As you said, everything starts in the gut. The simplest and kind of thought process, I think, for everyone to think about here is, if you know anyone who's lactose intolerant, I have a daughter, right? That's lactose intolerant. All that means is she ran out of the enzyme lactase, basically. I mean, she can't break down her milk sugars, so she's uncomfortable. So it's not like we're going to promote eat a bunch of dairy. No. She did marry a dairy farmer, though.
Yes, she did marry a dairy farmer.
It's a true story.
It's a good thing.
But when she takes this BLD, she can have, if she chooses to have dairy, and break that down and be okay with it and not feel all out of whack.
And right? I know one of the questions will be gluten, so I'll just cover it now. Just so you guys know, gluten, for years, everyone's been talking about it. It's a protein. So most people that are gluten intolerant are because they can't even handle their proteins, but they don't know that. It's kind of one of those hidden things. You know it if you end up with gout and your feet are filled with uric acid and your fingers are filled with uric acid. Because if you go to the doctor, they're going to say go on a low purine diet, which is low protein diet, which gluten falls into that. But if you have celiac, I don't want you to go out and start eating that. But I do want people who are a little gluten sensitive to know that if by accident it was in a meal, you're being able to take the enzymes and have all the proteolytic components, which are protein splitting enzymes, are going to allow you to break that down, where now it's not a toxin to the body. So I want you to understand a little bit of that.
So we'll move on.
I know, because I could talk for days.
So really, BLD is for any human that eats heated, cooked, or processed food, or any animal, right? Our dogs, our cats, they're all getting the same health issues, diseases, whatever you want to call it, that humans are, because they're eating.
Open up the capsule, put it in their food.
They're eating heated, cooked, processed food. And that's not what was meant to happen for them either. And so
I've never seen a cat or a dog be able to reach the stove and make their food. They are all eating cooked and processed food that's not normal. So
all right, so there's that. That's BLD. So if you want us to keep moving, there you go. Let's jump into
jump into. So I came up to your booth. Oh, first of all, what would the dosage be for an 8-year-old boy?
So it just depends, because I've met 8-year-old boys that eat 1 meal a day, and I meet ones that eat 3 meals a day. So it's
probably 3.
Yeah, it's not really the age. It's more, what are they eating? So if an 8-year-old boy can throw down a whole pizza, they need the same as anyone else who throws down a whole pizza. Now, granted, their pancreas has a better capacity right now because they're young, and odds are their enzyme bank account is really full. But maybe not. It depends on their grandparents and further on. So it's not going to hurt if they take too much, is the point. So you at least want enough. So I would just do 1 with each meal. Or if for some reason you want to do less, you would pick the largest meal that child would have. And so if they don't really eat a lot for breakfast, they run out the door, go to school, and or they're not going to remember, I would do it at their dinner time where they're going to eat a lot.
It's
thank you.
I was going to say, speaking of little ones, what's really fun to watch is if you've ever had a baby that went from breast milk to formula, and a lot of times they can't handle that, and they're colicky and they're screaming and they're uncomfortable. We just open a little capsule, give it half, just put half in that bottle, shake it, give the bottle back, and then watch the baby stop crying. I mean, this is not
I love that.
very, very simple. And so the other enzyme product that we have there, the Recover product, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, please.
It's kind of it's a heavy proteolytic protein splitting enzyme. And so it's kind of the medicine cabinet, don't reach for that Advil, ibuprofen, right? You can reach to Recover. Recover's kind of the answer for so many things.
Yeah, we literally say, when in doubt, take Recover, no matter what.
Whether,
if you can't get a hold of us or can't get a hold of the doctor,
whether
just take Recover.
whether it's bad inflammation, scar tissue, a lot of docs have used this and sold this post-surgery, allergies, bites, stings most poisons are protein based.
Yeah, well, so many things are protein based. And where Sean's going with that is I like to call it rogue proteins that kind of go on in the body and they're floating around. The reason it works is because the product Recover is a systemic product, meaning you take it away from food and it's going to travel through your system, through your bloodstream, and clean up that debris, those rogue proteins. And in the last few years, there's never been more talk about rogue proteins, and what happens when you have an excessive amount of proteins that shouldn't be in the bloodstream, that creates the best way to explain it would be like it's damming up your river of life. So it's going to hurt your blood flow. It's going to hurt your oxygen intake. It's going to hurt everything in the body because there's logs in the river. That excess protein makes the blood not travel as well. And that can be where clotting comes in, all kinds of different things like that. So be thinking, always reach with anything that's an itis, reach for Recover, always. And if you're super healthy and you're like, well, when would I take it? Before and after a workout. Before and after you go to your physical therapist, before and after you go to your chiropractor, because you're going to be able to get rid of, we all eat, drink, and breathe bacteria all day long. And bacteria is also a protein that some of them shouldn't be in the body. And that's going to help get rid of that. When Sean mentioned allergens, like animal dander, like the skin from an animal, is protein based. And that's a protein that the body doesn't like or doesn't recognize. So it creates a histamine response. So you start sniffing, clearing your throat, that sort of thing. That's the product you reach for. And you can pop 4 of them. People can take 20, but the goal is that you get what you need from fewer and work your way up. Because you will detox too if you just start taking 20.
Let me clarify when Tylene just threw out their 20, which you can, but
you definitely can, but
so
no need to.
We like to start people on Recover before bed.
Yeah, it's the simplest
Try
way.
taking a couple before bed. Could make you feel a little bit nauseous because you're trying to take it with little to no food in the stomach. Certainly very little to no protein, because we don't want it working on your protein in the gut. We want it to go around. I always picture the old Pac-Man game and let it kind of go and look and run into those things, right? These catalysts, these enzymes that are protein themselves, and let them just start cleaning up. Everyone talks about blood thinners. My doc put me on a blood thinner. My blood wasn't flowing. I was lethargic. It was thick and sticky, which is great. Now their blood is flowing, but it's dirty still. Enzymes clean your blood, and now your blood flows. So you're getting the same result with clean blood. It's just a different approach.
So with everyone that's online right now, there's a lot of doctors. So the thing we were a doctor line. So it's very interesting to go into this space being a doctor line. So one of the things I would caution is you don't want it with blood thinners. So if your friends and family are on a blood thinner, this acts very much like a blood thinner by cleaning the blood though. So it will make medications work more. So then somebody's, blood pressure will get too low or whatever. So I usually, if they're on a blood thinner, I say, go to your doctor, go to your doctor, go to your doctor, because the goal is that they get off the dang blood thinner and get on to something that actually cleans the blood. But the only person that can take them off of their medication is them or their doctor. So that's the only thing. But if you're healthy, not on any meds, you could pop 20 of them.
So, okay, let's keep going. Is that good? We good? Can we just keep moving? Okay. We're trying to hurry. Okay. So let's go into the whole flower fluid, the dropper, the CBD. HempWorx has a fabulous CBD oil. They're great. And Jenna does a fantastic job of teaching that plant and what it's all about. And we teach very similar things. We just are a little bit different. We happen to have now 3 patents on plant extraction. And now the 3rd patent is on mushroom, on fungi extraction. So when we are in the hemp or CBD space, we are taking organic plants, we're extracting them without any chemicals, without critical CO2, whatever.
Not even any alcohol.
Nothing. And that's part of the patent. That's part of the process. And then the end result is the plant. It's the whole plant, the whole flower, meaning we do not add any carrier oils into that bottle. So if you came by our booth and you happen to taste our CBD, hemp fluid, whatever, you would notice, wow, because if you've used CBD, you've either tasted the carrier oil or flavoring. And by the way, we believe in Mother Nature. We don't mess with Mother Nature. So when CBD first came out, and I was traveling for years speaking on this CBD thing and truth about plant medicine and all this stuff, CBD, CBDA, CBG, CBN, all the terpenes, all the flavonoids, we never took them out. It's always been in there. It's always remained whole. And so we started working with doctors originally. In fact, in Florida, we had some Parkinson's doctors, etc., autism organizations, cancer facilities in other countries before.
I was going to say that other word that we don't say, but you just said it.
Sorry. Because it wasn't legal yet, right? Before the Farm Bill passed. So we had to be pretty discreet. We wanted to help people. So we've been doing that about 11, 12 years now. I don't know how long it's been exactly, but it is very unique. And so since it is whole, we're really into microdosing. So less is more. So we are 50 milligrams of whole flower fluid per drop. Okay. And everything's in there. So when you have the whole thing, you need less.
The whole alphabet.
So 2 little tiny drops is a dose. So one thing most CBD companies don't usually talk about is your cost per dose. So that little 100-drop bottle is 50 doses. So take that price divided by 50, that is your cost per dose. So that bottle may be small, it goes a long, long way. It's also water compatible, okay? Most water-soluble CBDs, they don't have any medicine in them. We've tested them over and over and over. Ours is all there. So all our third-party testing done, it's all in there. All that medicine is still there. You want that medicine in there. You want all those cannabinoids. Terpenes, the essence of that flower, that plant. Most CBD oil products add terpenes from another source. Okay, you can do it. You can now tout a higher milligram count, but that's really not what it's all about, because a plant knows exactly. Everyone has their role, right? It's kind of like when LeBron James, he went to the Los Angeles Lakers. They couldn't win. They couldn't even play together. He was from it didn't work. You can't bring someone in from the outside and work synergistically. This plant grew up together. They all know their role. So we've always left it alone. And that's kind of the simplicity of what we do when it comes to CBD or to hemp. And we're excited to help with that. And it's just a different way of using an oil. An oil, you usually take a bunch, right? And you hold it under your tongue sublingually. That's for absorption. Most oils, our bodies are not oil. We're fluid, right? All these different fluids, water, etc. So most oils actually, if you really get down to it, absorb about 4 to 8% into the body. The reason why you're taking it sublingually and holding it there is to get absorption. So that little dropper is like 65% on up. You can't hold it because it dissipates. It immediately goes into the body, which is super cool. So if it's too much of a plant taste for some folks, drop it right in your water, drop it in your coffee, drop it in your tea or whatever. And that's okay. You can do that if you like to. But I just want you to know, you could put it on topically. We make other things with that, and we'll bring some more things down the road of My Daily Choice where you can just rub it on. You can put it on your skin. The stories and testimonials we've had from that are mind-boggling as well. I mean, these things that we get, whether they're age spots or the bad stuff that get on the skin, I could just tell you, if you got that stuff going, you start putting that on your face 2-3 times a day. And remember, just a drop or two. And you tell me what happens with what's going on there, because we've dealt with this, with that nasty C word, with many of those doctors. It's wild. So I won't go there. I don't want to get too crazy here. So that's that.
I love it. So Sean and Ty, first of all, we could hear you guys. I think I talk for everyone. We would love to hear you guys talk for I just want you to just keep going, because I'm so obsessed with every word that you're saying. And it's all I'm like, yeah. And I know everyone's nodding their head, and we're all itching to get off this Zoom so that we can go shopping on the Sean and Ty store in the MDC marketplace, because I want Recover now. I need it in my life. I'm going to get the CBD for sure. I'm going to get the Lion's Mane. And I know that you gave me a little hint that there's 2 more products launching soon with the marketplace from Sean and Ty. So we're very excited about that. Is it okay, guys, if I open it up for just a few questions?
Sure.
From the team, because they're all pounding them in the chat, and I'd rather
absolutely.
you guys be able to answer some. Okay, you guys unmute or raise your hands. They're open for questions and answers. Don't be shy.
I have a question. Thank you guys so much. You're beautiful, and I just absorb your energy because it's palpable and you can feel it through the screen. So thank you. My question is, because we have so many beautiful, wonderful options of the CBD oils with HempWorx and you guys, when it comes to dose and combining, I know we just launched the CBD-A. What would be your guys' recommendation if we were doing the whole flower, if we've got the CBD-A and 2 small children, and I don't want to be turned into a zombie, right? What would be the recommendation there for balancing dosage?
Sure. It's a great question. I mean, so it's all in the whole flower fluid. It's all there. CBD, CBDA, CBG, and CBN.
THCA.
It's all there.
Yeah.
So that it's there. You could say preference. That's okay too. It's really, this is a really, we got to spend a little bit of time with Jenna in Miami, and we hadn't prior. And so we were excited hearing her, and she was excited hearing us. And, we just want to compliment HempWorx. It's not a this one or that one. You know what I mean?
We're not here to upset the apple cart.
No, we know. We've been, we want to help people help themselves. That's really all we want to do. And so I would say with children, for example, or an adult who's comboing these things, I would ask you just to say, okay, it's all in this whole flower fluid, everything. It was never taken out. We are probably the only hemp CBD product that if you look at the profile of the plant and extract it, and then you send it out to a third party lab test, it's almost identical. That is unheard of, because we're not putting anything in there.
Well, we're also not hurting.
We're
the
not.
plant. The plant's not getting hurt.
It's less. It's less is more as a user, but it's also less is more from a waste perspective, because we don't need as much raw plant material to pull from. If that makes sense. So
more sustainable.
Whatever works for you, I would just simply say, if CBD oil has helped you or someone oh my gosh, when they use fluid. It's just an apples and oranges conversation.
I love that. Lynn, what you got, babe?
Yeah. I would love to meet you guys in person. We live in San Diego too, but my son got married the day of the convention. I don't know. So, but I'm wanting to know about if you don't have a gallbladder, and I know there are a lot of people that don't. I certainly don't, but how helpful is the BLD product for that?
Okay, so it is amazing. And the biggest thing in there that you're going to want to think is lipase breaks down fats. And when you don't have a gallbladder, you're stressing your liver out because it's having to do more work because you removed its best friend. So every time you're bringing in fats, you're stressing the body out because you don't have the gallbladder to help. And so when you're taking the BLD with a fatty meal, and everything has fat in it, you know, every food has a protein, a carb, and a fat. It's just what ratios. And so I would take extra. I would take one with a regular meal. But if you decide to indulge in a fatty meal, like maybe a greasy pizza or something, I would definitely take extra if I didn't have a gallbladder to take that pressure off of my body. The whole idea with BLD is to alleviate pressure from the body. Even when people have a gallbladder, you still don't want to overuse things. You don't want to overuse your pancreas, overuse your gallbladder, overuse your thyroid. Any of those things become enlarged and stressed when we put a lot of pressure on them. So the whole goal, and that's why this is great for kids, you're taking pressure off of them at a young age, almost as if you're eating your food raw and not having to use a lot of those organs, and they can just sit there for emergency use. Because it's also, just so you know, it's not shutting down your pancreas. These are plant enzymes. They're not animal enzymes. So they're not going to mimic the ones that your pancreas makes. This would be no different than if you ate a ton of broccoli, a ton of pineapple, papaya. It's not going to hurt your body. It's only going to give to the body. That's it. So anybody who has a compromised body by not having a gallbladder or any other things, it's only going to help them.
Perfect.
Thanks.
I love
Thank
that
you.
answer. Okay, we have time for one more, guys. One more. Chrissy?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I wish I had had the BLD 20 years ago before I had my gallbladder removed. And that is one thing that the doctor did not mention to me, and I suffered for about 10 years afterwards until I brought enzymes into my life. And I switched to BLD recently, and that has been a total game changer for my digestion, not having a gallbladder. So thank you.
I love that. Oh, I love that.
Thanks for
Okay,
sharing.
one more question, guys. One more question. Anyone?
I was wondering about like herpes and cold sores and stuff. I don't know, baby.
That's a little bit different. That's usually some amino acids, but like lysine and things like that. But here's the kicker: if you get amino acids from your protein, if you're processing all your proteins 100%, you're going to actually get more amino acids from the food you're eating by taking BLD. So it only helps with everything, which is why I was saying you're going to get these random testimonials. So someone may go, hey, I got rid of my cold sores, but I wouldn't go, hey, this is a cold sore formula. It's not like that. Someone may go, oh, wow, it got rid of my psoriasis. Well, that's because your skin's your largest detox organ. So any type of skin issue is going to show itself when the body's, in disarray, dis-ease. And it's because you're not processing your food. Every single thing that could go wrong, I start with, let's process what you're eating, because 365 days a year, you're doing that. So it may not be specific to a cold sore, but yes. And also when it's viral, when something's viral debris in the body goes back to like the rogue proteins I was talking about. And that would be the recover product. So you would take BLD with your food. And if you have any of these things that anybody mentions, then you take the recover at bedtime to help with anything, even things maybe that you don't know you have going on with you that hasn't reared its ugly head yet. Start taking it at night. Like I take it for maintenance at night.
And you could take recover during the day. We just start people at night just in case they feel a little bit queasy.
Yeah.
But you
and you
certainly
detox
take
at
it
night. You're healing at night. So it's a really good time to remember to take it. But if you forget, you can take it anytime as long as it's away from food.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. So we want to make sure that you all become educated after tonight. I think you'll feel educated. I also think you'll be products of the product, right? And we're going to have a team of everyone has happy guts, because when we have happy guts, our neurotransmitters are firing. We're happier humans. And guess what, guys? We can think better. We can think better when our gut is happy, because then we have the gut-brain barriers open. So Sean and Ty, thank you so much. We are all going to go get off here and go shopping at our MDC marketplace. I'm going to pass it over to Kenny Rossi now. Kenny, take it away.
Thank you, Daisy May. Thank you, Sean and Ty. Amazing people. We got a chance to meet them at the convention. Boy, was that amazing. So here you are. You're getting off this Zoom. The first thing I want you to think about is load up your back office with brand bucks. Don't run and buy a product. Okay? Go get brand bucks first. You guys, Sean and Ty, you guys are part of the brand bucks saving, correct? If they get brand bucks, they save a little bit of money.
So excited about that. That's a complete game changer. Yeah.
Brand bucks. So you get your best price using brand bucks. So don't run on there. Get used to getting brand bucks, either $1.99, $3.99, $7.99. Enjoy these amazing products. Also get your team to do the same thing. If you're kind of struggling, who's going to use this product? It's humans with a stomach. Right. If they don't have that, then, we're gonna need to, run away from the other ones. But it's humans with a stomach. That's who's going to be using this product, guys. Daisy May, I want you to stay with me here. Do we know who we're going to have on next week?
That's our demographic. Humans with a stomach. So we have a couple options for next week. We have Damon Coleman or John Malat or Envy, the makeup, airbrush makeup. So it's going to be one of those brands. When we have them locked in, we'll get a graphic made and it'll be awesome.
So what you guys want to do is this. If you are not part of our Facebook group, we will have this recording on our Facebook group for you guys to go take advantage of, watch again. Get the people that were not on the Zoom to watch this. This is for everyone you know and love. All right, every Monday night we are going to have, I like to call them, even though they're not vendors, that are a part of our marketplace in a sense, because if we have them, think about what we got from Sean and Ty tonight. From their hearts, you guys, they gave us what this product is. I mean, I'm at a place where I can't wait to come back around when we're done with all the vendors, where we get to start over and have them again, because we're going to have hundreds, if not thousands, on that Zoom, right? Hearing from the people that have changed many of our family and friends' lives with an amazing product. So next Monday, we will be giving you the picture of that Zoom sooner than later. So you know who will be here. Get your whole team involved. So what do you do from here, okay, until next Monday? You get every family member, every friend you know to buy brand bucks. Get their brand bucks so they can take advantage of the best price of these amazing products that are coming through the marketplace week in and week out. Again, we thank you, Sean and Ty, for an amazing Monday night. We will see you guys next Monday night. Appreciate you. Love you. Have a great week. Get it done.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Everyone unmute and say goodbye to Sean and Ty.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
you, Sean and Ty.
Thank
Thank you all. Awesome.
Bye. That was
We
great.
love you.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Darren.
Good night, guys.
Good
Thank
night,
you so
guys.
much.